Hi, YouTube. Hey, welcome on in. By the time this gets to you, I don't know if this will. Hey, come on and check us out. It's good. All the VODs are on Twitch, unmuted, unedited for the most part. We're trying to find a way to make this work so that way you guys have access to even shows that aren't on YouTube. There are shows like that haven't been put up on YouTube because we don't have a. I don't feel like they're appropriate for YouTube or right for YouTube, or maybe they're too short and I don't feel comfortable putting them up. Maybe I was just laughing about them, or they were fast sped up or whatever, right? But some of them do have some actual interesting analysis aspects, and we're figuring stuff out in the back end throughout all of that. But through that, so excited to get into Frieren, so excited to dive in deep and truly take the time to go ahead and analyze it. We're not going to do a 120-minute analysis of the opening. We're going to go ahead and let it play through and see where this takes us. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on. Audio, I know. Damn. I thought she was doing it over the demon's body for a second. Man. I don't know how else to say this. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and shoot straight. Her respecting still the attitude of life, right? They leave no bodies. No, but her still respecting the epitome that this is. That these were people that were sadly like manipulated, right? It was up against their will. Now they're free, and her actually taking the time to say goodbye in that manner. I wonder if is this how Frieren has always been, or was this the effect of her friends and her adventures, her adventuring party? Did her adventuring party enable her to at least be more empathetic towards the death of warriors or humans or elves or whatever in this way, right? In this way where she actually kneels and she prays and she does whatever this is. I feel like the impact that we have with one another, the genuine impact and care that we have for one another transverses cultures at times. And this is why sometimes it's important to always be nice to one another and always try and spread, yeah, more likely Himmel, yeah. Like spread a little bit of that like positivity and love to one another, because it can take one good compliment to make someone's day, but it can also be one negative comment to break the camel's back. It can be a lot. It can be an absolute lot. Wow. Is this event? Sorry, I know it might seem like I'm pausing a little bit too much here, but I'm genuinely curious. Having this callback, did this actual aspect of like, yeah, she fought, she did all of these things, but here's the lessons that Himmel or Heider had taught her. Are we going to get some involvement in that direction? SB and I were talking in the previous episode about how it feels as though there's still more party members to be added. Are we going to go in a direction similar to that, where everyone's filling a specific role? And I'm even wondering, is she accidentally, maybe even subconsciously, making the party of her past? I don't know if that makes any sense, but the way I'm looking at this is, you have Fern, who's an amazing magician, right? Of course, she's a human, but an amazing magician. You have Stark, right? Who is another amazing individual, amazing fighter, amazing everything, right? In that regard. They would need a healer, and they have 2 mages and a tank. It's not exactly stable. No, and it's not about necessarily being stable, but for a lot of people, we follow cycles of even understanding. Sometimes we don't know, but like say that you're used to a group dynamic, right? Of you, like someone being the funny one, the smart one, whatever. You move somewhere else, somewhere completely different. Unknowingly, you subconsciously look for individuals to fit those needs in order for you to better relate and understand your situation at hand. And sometimes you won't even notice it, that you've fallen into that same stigma, that same routine, that same everything, until someone points it out. Until someone's like, wait a minute, don't we just fall into the same friend group that you've had? That's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm even wondering about what the concepts, like who taught Frieren this concept of like how to pray, how to do certain things. And even through this, let's take this even a step further. How do you even show love in this world? And I don't just mean like, let's get it on. I mean, like, how do you show love, affection, getting together, marriage, aspects like this in this world? That's where my mind is circulating to, because of this reference of serenity, of this reference of her taking like actually being respectful and taking down the knee, of this reference of like, how we're getting some similarities that are starting to become obvious, more and more obvious to me. My friends share a lot due to their masters, but I wonder, their church. But for example, by this I mean like, let's say 200 years ago in the world of Ed, like, here you go, like, so you can remember me by gesture of love. Nowadays, oh, thank you, bro. Oh, that felt good, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Like we all have different times and signatures or whatever that like love was used to express itself. So that's sort of the concept that I'm coming into, is like, I'm even wondering, could Frieren, I know that we've talked about Frieren, like, she mentioned that like they're not really that active or that whatever, but can Frieren even understand the concept of love if the concept of love is something that, like, say, parents, loved ones, whatnot in the past taught her was something else than what it truly is currently? If someone tells you that love is someone coming through and, I don't know, touching your forehead, like bumping into your forehead, and that is how someone says that they're truly in love with you, and nothing else really is, and say that time changes 100 years, 200 years, and people are showing a different form of love, and you're not there to capture it. You might be a little bit on the spectrum or whatnot. Could you truly understand, or just miss social cues in general? Would you truly be able to pick up on it? I think she is not sure. I mean, I wouldn't. There's aspects of love. There's another anime doing it this season. What? So that's sort of what I'm getting at. Could be a panda thing for her. They love their families, yet they don't breed much. Could be. It absolutely could be. Like, for example, I guess I'm gonna share this because I think that this is an important one, right? When I'm in a relationship, I tend to be pretty, I don't know, affectionate. They're pretty affectionate with my partners. I try to take care of their needs, so on and so forth. I'm a gift giver. That is one of my love languages, right? I love giving like necklaces or like anything that I think would look amazing on them. It's just it doesn't even have to be like expensive stuff. It can literally be like a little Pokemon doll or something they know they like, whatever, right? If it makes them happy for a little bit, it's all worth it, right? At least for me, it is. However, for some people, that might be something more, right? Like, oh my god, this necklace, this isn't. You're only supposed to give it to someone that you truly are going to spend the rest of your life with, because we all have different appropriations for what love means, right? For me, it's just, hey, this is a gift. I thought of you. I think you're amazing. Thank you for being a part of my life. Here's a little present that I truly, I think would look amazing on you. Point in case. But for others, that might be an act that's more than just that. But I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't count on that, right? Because my thought process and my avenue for this comes from my cultural background, my understanding of things. And this is why I'm trying to conceptualize this in the show altogether. I'm sorry if this, like, I might just be completely off the market, might never touch on a subject like this in the show. But this is sort of where it's getting me to think about this more and more. And I know in the opening it shows the ring, like it shows certain things like that. And I'm sort of wondering, like, what does that mean, right? And for others, what is he trying to be forgiven for? Yeah, absolutely, John. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Sad Jam. Nerdy. Welcome on in, man. Defeated Aura. She defeated herself. Oh, so good, though. This OP slaps. It slaps, brother. Is that a ring? Or is that like a bracelet? No. Apreciando, no. Is that a ring? Is that like a earring? Is that a bracelet? What is that? A ring? I know it looks small, but you also have to remember, no ring she was looking at after she. Oh, okay, okay. For some reason, my mind went into, wait a minute. Because it looks like a ring at first, but then as a twist, it looks like. Hold on. Encapsulates both of them. Don't you just love the way that this comes through? Anyway, we'll keep going. Might look like a clasp on the thing, but it should be a ring. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'm not the author. Could be a rat though. I'm gonna come for you guys, bro. I swear. Fucking hate the rats. I'm just conceptualizing everything in at the moment. Just give me a second. Huh. Oh, oh, the one character. Ah. I don't think it was. I wouldn't call that a battle. I wouldn't call that a war. Chat, would you call that a battle or a war? What we saw? I think I would consider that a massacre at that point. I think that like she just literally that was just one sided. I think a battle is usually like you know, usually there's a little tug and pull and whatnot. More like a homicide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That felt more like a debate with swords, battle of the waifus. Someone said, Ed. So someone sent me a message and I was like, Ed, what would you do if you were in Frieren's position? What would I do? What would I do? They literally asked me, Ed, what would you do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, yeah, exactly, brother. Ed, wait. Ed, wait. Even if no one was looking, I would. You know, you'll turn into a wonderful person, but you'll be mine, type of a thing, right? Not like that. Wait a minute, that sounds wrong. But you'll love me eternally, or whatever. Not try to harm me, or something like that. R34 repopulating the demon race, half demon breeds, brothers. Oh, hold on. Oh. Mm. Oh, she's even praised. Oh. Well, I mean, if you think about it, right, and this is something that I'm contextualizing as we're going through this, nobody else could have stopped them. Realistically speaking, nobody else could have stopped them. So the fact that they made it out alive, I think that that's showcasing that they're stronger than even the strongest person in this city, in this community, in this everything. Like that is showcasing that they're ready for the adventure that may come. They might need a fucking healer though, if we're being honest about it, like to heal these wounds or to be able to go ahead and do something. Because fuck. Oh, Oh, getting closure. I think it's one of the biggest elements that we as humans often take. Some of us don't cope well if we don't get closure. And actually being, I know, like them being reunited, but him also bringing this chapter to a close, to a proper close for himself, that's huge. Maybe time has started back up for him and he's able to take that first step forward. That's it's so impactful. It is so impactful. And I guess I'll ask this question for you guys. How many of you have been frozen in time because of a trauma, because of something in your past? I'll be honest. There's been some situations in my past where I tried to freeze in time. I tried to just keep myself frozen because I did not want to take that first step. I didn't have the closure I needed. So I froze. I tried to freeze myself and everything I could to try and process it and get whatever closure came. And it's until you realize that sometimes you will never get closure. Sometimes you just need to take that step and keep going. It's woof. Seeing that your son like that for 10 years, that must be such a moment, like a truly interpersonal moment for him, a vulnerable moment for him. I can't even imagine. Wow. Oh, oh. The whole reason why she's even like that is just yeah. We've been through this before. I don't want to fucking commit the same mistake. Yeah, no. I wish for a big burger for a reward. Ooh. Yeah. Following the same cycle. What the fuck? Well, what a time to add in a little gag. Holy shit. I mean, yeah, you would probably be scared at that point. Aw. If you can use magic to levitate, like, mm, magic might be really helpful. I'm like, woodcutter over Stark. Wow. That's a big burger. Holy fuck. Yeah, it's to be expected. The town's gonna be happy with you. Holy shit. Bro, what's the... Okay, hold on. Because it covers her chest, right? It's got to be bigger than this. Holy fuck, that's a big burger. There's the burger. How does that fit in her stomach? You would be surprised there are some tags out there that you're going to be asking the same question. But like, bro, holy shit. It's amazing to see that like they come in, the town was a little like, how do I put it? A little rough. And now that like, you know, they're able to go and relax, you're able to see that like the greatness of that town. Don't say, hey, yo. Cochinos mal pensados about comida, food. You guys crack me up every time. Oh. The woodcutter. The most menacing man in this whole show is a woodcutter. Not our heroes, not everyone else, just our woodcutter, man. Insert song, great, more copyright. No worries, it's actually just recording my voice on the side as well. But oof, oof. This is the original ending for episode 1 for TV. Oh, dude. I think this goes out like just in general. It's such an impactful. I have goosebumps. Such an impactful song, and just moment to like rationalize, you know, fallen individuals, fallen warriors, veterans, anyone out there, because man, the undeserved, the like underserved, rather well said, because a lot of people just, yeah, don't. A lot of people don't really fully pay attention or fund the services that are there to help the individuals. And in a world like this, where all of these individuals were taken, were killed by Aura, that's terrifying. Looking at all of these different swords, looking at like all of the different families that lost someone. F in the chat, boys. Pay respects. Oh. Yeah, that's fine, Satan. And oh no. Certification? Third class? Third class? Frieren's like, I'm the OG. I am the OG. I am the mage of mage. What? Freedom working illegally. Oh no. Oh yeah, the systems of licensing would change. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, imagine for her though, right? Straight up, 100 years is like maybe a year for her. She's going throughout everything, right, through life and whatnot. How annoying would that be? You want me to really take through and learn a whole new set of roles and conducts and everything, like every year for a whole new organization that I would have to go ahead and like license for. If, oof, yeah, I mean, I have to take driver's ed every year. Ugh. Dude, for an elf, it would be like having to renew your papers every week. That's why I'm saying, like, I totally see where she's coming from, especially with the concepts of time and all of that appropriated into it. It's gonna take up a lot of time, a lot of everything. Take the exam, true. Mm. This would be an excellent fucking game. This would be an excellent fucking game. Like, to actually go through and like just adventure in this world and see some of these characters and these experiences and tell a journey that, like, yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this would be a phenomenal way of just like showcasing some elements and stuff. Sorry, my brain's like, whoa. New languages, regulations, yeah. Hmm. It was the winter. Winter is coming. I mean, even through that, right? Damn, Stark. Historically accurate. I mean, you shouldn't leave during these periods of times. I think that that's just like a normal aspect to think about, right? As we've seen, you don't invade the North uh, during winter, right? We've seen some elements as to how weather plays a huge factor in survival and in mental health. Here's an aspect that I can tie in with this. How many of you guys are currently going through seasonal depression or even know what seasonal depression is? Just my dad's youth alone. Imagine trying to keep up bureaucracy. 1,000 years. Yeah, abandoned warehouse. Yeah. I'll be honest. I struggle a little bit with my emotions and my moods during it. Right. It gets darker sooner, which means I get tired quicker, which means I feel like I have less energy when I get up, so on and so forth. Right. Some days I get, like during spring, my allergies can really act up, and that can be a big determinant of health in that. For some people, not being able to go out and like have the sun for as long as it's supposed to be out, it gives them seasonal depression. It's an aspect that impacts your psychological and emotional health. You know, and that's why some people really love going to sunny cities. Others love just going out adventuring into like cold lands where it's only rainy. We all have different weather that affects us. And I guess for you, have you ever been affected by weather like this? And if so, what do you prefer? Heat, cold, rain? The sun wants that. I live in one of the sunniest places on earth, man, and it gets stupid hot. Stupid hot. Over here we are approaching 6 hours of daylight. That affects everyone to some degree. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, oh, she actually cares. Mm. Then we'll have to carry him, and she's the only one that's carrying him. They're gonna end up together, dude. They have to end up together. Oh my god, dude. There's more emotion in their voice. Like more comfortable. Oh, they're more comfortable being around with one another. Like, you've got, I do have the shipper's curse because I genuinely feel like this is a relationship that might thrive and might continue to push on forward because of the small actions that they're taking for one another. That grows propinquity all the way up, dude. Even unknowingly, that might push it past the fucking barriers and bars where they start going ahead and interacting with one another and gift giving and, like taking care of one another in the small ways that a lot of people don't even like pay attention to. That's where my mind is going into. Look at is the love guru. They will have the shipper's curse, although the logical. Aw, what is that noise? Huh, huh. Is he doing squats or some shit? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, that grunting noise. No fucking way. I'm fucking dead. I don't know what that noise was. I literally thought it was just a. Oh no. Oh no. It's so fucking stupid, dude. I was just saying a fucking random exercise, brother. Holy fuck. Oh. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, and with the demon eyes, right? Oh, elf dude. Hell yeah. Oh, oh. As long as he's like, not like, wow, I've already thought the elves had died out. Um, um, do you wanna create the new elf race? Like as long as he doesn't like, doesn't turn into a fucking weird segment like that. And no, the goddess. Someone Living as long as an elf does, believing in religion. That's an interesting. Huh. Goddess. Fuck, everyone's saying their title. I feel left out. Ed the Wizard. Everyone's saying their title. I feel left out. Right? Oh no. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hyperthermia immediately. Waking up, imagine this, you wake up and there's a half naked elf man next to you. Elf bro hug, brother. Oh. Old man. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Well, they were. I think it's amazing that they're showcasing these characters, right? And like even the introduction of this monk into the whole unit, like it's nice. It's not like he's forcing himself. I kind of feel like he's just gonna leave, right? Like he's introducing sort of the element that it's nice to have other people around you, right? Because having two elves, I guess, in this unit would be interesting. But I also feel as though he's probably on his own mission to do things from the looks of it, from the cart that he has, from the supplies that he has going on. I'm really curious as to how this is going to diverge and evolve into whatever we're going to see. Let's go ahead and continue, guys. Overall, the dynamics that I'm seeing presented here, though, are quite nice. Where I think Frieren now being in a position of like, I don't put it like like the leader this time instead of Himmel, you get to see things differently, and you will always see things differently in a different position of power, right? So her being in this environment where she's taking care of these two, where other people start coming in, and she's already gone through this sort of a journey once, that's going to change your perspective as to how to approach certain scenarios. And that's why I love the way that this show's taking it slow. This is why I love the way that this show is not just rushing towards the end. It's like we're gonna tell a journey. This is gonna be a journey. It's not the first time that Frieden has gone on this journey through these cities. It's the second time. And yeah, there's some stuff that's similar, but a lot of things have changed. And how do we adapt to that? Where do we evolve from it? And oh, that's so good. It's so good. Here's a controversial question. Who is the stronger mage? Rudy or Frieren? Considering that Rudy can like I don't know, do his like water emperor or water magic thing. Who is the stronger mage, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, Rudy. Yeah. Backstory? Oh. Oh. You see the structure that this man brought? The structure that having a new individual join the group brought into it, where everyone started all of a sudden like coming together and even praying over food before going into it or doing certain things. Amazing. What an amazing like way to go ahead and showcase it. This is a space that needs to be filled. There is a need for someone like this in this group, and that this group is open to it. I do wonder if there's a little bit maybe of a interpersonal bias for Fern, where maybe she's thinking of Hater in there, where she's like automatically like man like remembering when she was a kid, remembering probably the things that they had to go out and do with, right? And Frieren, yeah, and Frieren also as well, right? Because she had her friend there that they like she did the adventuring with. So interesting concepts. The glue of the group. Yep. Oh. 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 You're young? Bro, how old are you? Holy shit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Frieren is fucking prehistoric from the looks of it. How old are you, brother? Holy shit. Oh, legacy, man. Legacy is one of the biggest reasons why people do things. Sometimes people need some faith or hope for the future, for what may come after, for whatever, which is why you often get a weird, like, not weird, but like an expected turn in a person's like later parts of life, where all of a sudden we don't know what comes afterwards, and so people try to hop onto a message, hop onto a way to for their legacy to keep going you know Himmel is an S tier support, making sure that the statues get made. Yeah, yeah. Shut herself away from flame. So, did you think she developed all that much over those centuries? Probably not. After her departure from people, she probably stalls for a good period of time. Oh, Oh. Oh. Yeah, but that doesn't change anything. That's it's impactful to see that, like, even though we all have our flaws, even though we're not perfect in this world, some of us leave legacy through instances like that. Some of us write, some of us create content, some of us try and go ahead and like build stuff for people to go ahead and thrive and succeed in. Like, wow, wow, good, mm. Oh, oh no. Oh, right. Oh, oh, bro, I'm fucking tearing up. We sometimes don't even know the amount of the effect that we have on the future. And his child did become the mage, and that's why it's always amazing and awesome to see how people are impacted and changed and able to go ahead and evolve, and how future generations might even be impacted by it. And Heater was right, man. Heater was right. Like, he passed on his legacy in a way that I think is truly helping the world. Oh, bro, you can't. What was that? Anybody else catching this, brother? Anybody else catching this? It smells like a ding, 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 ding. Ship, ship. Aside from him catching her falling, she looks up to him as though, ooh, ooh. But no, I can't full screen because, oof, oof, oof. The ship is sailing, brothers. The ship is sailing. That's all I'm going to say. The ship is sailing clearly here. No, not you purposely slip. No. Oh. Ah, dude. Oh, that hurts. Oh. She accepts it now, and she's open to talking about it. And the way that she even just casually says, like, it's a lesson learned that she's already learned, that she already knows about. She doesn't need to be praised because someone's already done that for her. It's okay. Talk about maturing. Talk about like being able to go and develop and learn from those lessons. Huge, dude. Huge. Oh. No, episode by episode, you break my heart. Episode by episode, you just come in and fucking break it, dude. This is one of the few episodes, a few shows that I can genuinely say, like, it just rips me apart, dude. Like, there's been moments where it hits soft, and then it just, it completely, like, hits deep, and it's like, so then what is your legacy? It brings up the question again in a different manner than you're used to, right? I am not Daijobu. I am not Daijobu. The way that this show is constantly bringing up these themes in a different way reminds me a lot of like in therapy we sometimes do this to try and make sure our clients are able to go and understand some situations. So we'll do it in a different method, and it hits. And I love the fact that they're doing it. Love the fact that they're not afraid of going into it. What's up, Rizzo Martian? That's why I'm like, whoa. Phenomenal fucking shit. Color me impressed by it. I love it, man. I fucking love it. I guess power dynamics wise, I do wonder if they're going to go that route. Are they going to get more people? Where is it going to evolve into? Why is it going to evolve into that way? But man, overall, this episode of Frieren was amazing. Is amazing. It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff for a resolution. Kraith has been in the Frieren life for 6 months, and he had a massive impact. Yeah, but it's not about how long you've been in someone's life. It's about what you say or what you mean in someone's life. Are you actively trying to better their life or be there and truly listen to them, or are you just trying to impose your values? The moment of how the episode will surprise me even more. Ooh. All right, SB, are you still there? Hope you're there. Hello. Bing bong, ding dong. I love these episodes where there's no short arc at the moment. It just feels continuous. It doesn't feel like it's a short arc for me. It just feels like it's continuing on. Here's our journey. We're going to keep going with our journey, and it's going to be okay. Like, that's, I don't know. For me, it's like, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful way of just saying, you know what? Like, we're not going to break it up into these little bite-sized pieces. It's a journey, and this is what life is. So, I guess you want to move on to Frieren?
Sure.
Okay, let's touch on that. Because you were, last week, you were the one that brought it up. And this wasn't me about, like, you know what would be nice? A priest. Well, we got a monk.
I actually think he will be part of the party. I don't think he will be gone for long. Because he does note in that episode, he's like, you know, we'll probably see each other again. Right. I think he will be a permanent addition, which is hilarious because I said that last week. I was like, oh, yeah, there needs to be at least a priest and another member, like 2 more. And I'm like, straight away the next week, another one. I'm like, I swear I haven't read the mangas. It was just a coincidence that instantly a monk pops up the next week. But I do think he will become a permanent addition because he kind of fits really nicely. He kind of complements. But I also like the fact that he is an elf as well, which is what really adds some interesting dynamics. And there'll be some good like chemistry long-term wise of them, like wisdom, knowledge, and those kind of things in the back and forth. And then when you were watching the opening again and you're analyzing it again, you paused on the ring.
Yeah.
I think that ring was given by Himmel.
Right.
And I think he proposed to her. And she didn't know what it meant.
Yeah. I was like, I have a feeling that, like, maybe she doesn't understand, like, because again, I was bringing this up earlier, which is every culture has a different definition of what love is. Because for some, it's like if I touch your nose, it means I'm giving you a kiss, right? But for others, it might be like, hey, you know what? Like, you got to lock lips. And I might be like, what the fuck are you doing? Cool, I guess. But, like, you know, every culture has a different definition of love. So I don't think she truly understood what was happening. She might have been married and just, like, never known the importance of it. You want to get married? Sure, I guess.
That would be pretty funny if she was married the entire time to Himmel and it just never computed to her that she was actually in, like, a proper relationship and what it meant. That would be pretty insane. But I don't think it'd be that crazy. I think he probably proposed to her and gave her the ring and she probably wore it and was like, oh, okay, whatever. and didn't realize what it meant, which is probably why he says what he says when he sees her again. Is that, you know, you're kind of cruel, because it's like, hey, I proposed to you, you just went off and did your own thing.
Yeah, and he waited for her, I guess. Like, he literally, you know, spent that much time. Oh, I'm putting myself, poor dude. Poor dude. Imagine like 50 plus years of just waiting for someone to come back and never give an answer. Oh, now that's hurting me even more, because I'm like, what if she learns about this and actually starts contextualizing this through the kids, through Stark and through Fern? Because what if, like, she either gives him something or he tries to express some sort of love for her, and she's like, wait a minute. That's where my mind rushes into. I'm like, it'd be a good opportunity to go ahead and reflect on herself using the kids as a reflectionary method.
That's why I think the monk will become a permanent part of the group, because he's also very wise and he's like the same race. He's been around for a long time. He clearly has some knowledge and wisdom that she doesn't possess when it comes to, well, like, the way of life. So I wonder if that will be like a good chemistry. And the other two members like him as well. And he's just funny when he just does weird things, like randomly doing body activities in the snow. But yeah, I think that is going to happen. I think the romance between those two is going to build and grow, and she's going to see that and learn from observation what that all means. And then she's going to realize Himmel did the same thing, but she never reciprocated it. And that's where it's going to sting the most, because then she'll realize, oh, he was actually really, like, madly in love with me, and I never gave him a proper answer. And that's where the end journey is going to be, where she's going to finally meet him, and then she'll say her piece. She'll, like, either confess as well and realize that she was in love, or give some type of conclusion to the story where they finally meet.
Well, my thing is, even her accepting love and being okay with letting go, because if she starts figuring out, like, what it truly means, then she has, like, a grief pattern that she has to, like, process that. She has to process the fact that, like, you know, he was there for her for everything. He was, like, showing her all these, like, different signs of, like, hey, I love you, I care about you, I'm doing 101 different methods for you. And, like, she's probably going to take that in and be like, no one else was doing that for me. How was I so blind? And there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of emotions of, like, how do you truly process this? So her being okay to move on, and her being okay with saying, like, you know, I love you, and finding that closure, that's going to be big. That's going to be really, really big. Man.
I did see someone comment about the monk joining the party not being so because of the opening. The openings are generally based on, like, the first couple of episodes, and then once the second course starts, which will be January or late next month, they'll have a new opening with a new song, and that's where they'll probably have new characters showing. So if there's going to be any new members joining, that's when they'll show them.
Right.
Which I still think he will join, because he just fits.
He fits so well. He brought stability to the group, like the whole putting your hands together to pray. People literally, like, everyone was getting along with him there, and that was awesome to see. I guess through that, my number one thing is, we've come from an episode that was a massacre. That was an absolute, just one-sided massacre. Going into this, did that feel weird or jarring to you? Because for me, it didn't. For me, it just felt like a natural, like, life continues. Life goes on.
I probably have a hot take here, but
sure,
it didn't affect me. But the thing is I feel like some people see those kinds of things and they don't realize what war looks like.
Right.
And I think that's something that shows like this dabble into quite well, is where they show, like, what war is like. Like, war, there's no winner or loser in war. It's just someone lost more than the other person. That's how I've always envisioned war. There is no winner. There's only losers. And just someone else lost more. And so for me, when I see that scene, I just see it as, yeah, this is the consequences of war, the consequences of conflict between different groups that clearly do not see eye to eye. And Frieren basically dealt with the way she knew best, and that is to cut off the head of the leader, force them to cut their own head off, and then be done with it. And that's the thing about war, is it is very cold, it can be very calculated, and it can be very messy and very emotionally damaging. And so it's why I like shows when they do show the consequences of war, and especially when you see like the leader come out there and he's seen his son's body there, and he's like, you know, they're mourning and showing respect to those soldiers, because they're protecting their home, their country, the people they love, the land that they love. And I sometimes feel like this day and age, people don't understand the sacrifices that are made to protect their own country, their own land, their own homes, their own family. Because as much as we don't want it, war can happen at any time, and sometimes you have to make really, really hard decisions that just are not pleasant. Right. If everything was that easy to make a decision, we would be in a happy, easy-go world, and it's not pleasant. And that's why when people would like criticize, oh, Frieren's horrible, it's like, you think she probably gets a kick out of it? No, to me, the way I see Frieren do it is that she's cold, she's calculated, but she has to be, because she can't become emotionally attached to these demons, because they're going to do the same thing. They're going to draw her emotions in, make her feel good, and then her head goes off. It's either you kill them or she gets killed, and that's how war is. And that's why I as much as I joke about the whole waifu thing, and be like, oh yeah, we could make her a waifu and all that kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, she had to go. It was sad. She was a top tier hot waifu.
Okay,
but she had to go.
But would?
Would.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. I was gonna say, I'm gonna be honest, I would have used that power for bad. I would have been like, hey, you're gonna love me, you ain't gonna hurt me. I'm about to be like, you're gonna be so toxically in love with me, you know, like no hurting me, no hurting other people. This is your only thing. Boom, done. Set deal.
I saw one counter, someone was like, oh, but she'll build up mana and overpower. I was like, not if I don't let her train. There'll be my one order. You can't train your mana to build it up, so I will always have more mana, so I will always be in control, so she'll never be able to overpower me.
Would she understand what you mean by love?
Probably not.
No. I don't know,
maybe.
Because she can manipulate her
learn her. Yeah, she could probably learn it. That's the thing. I feel like demons' love and emotions is a new concept to them, so they use it as a tool, but it doesn't mean they can't learn it. I don't think they're incapable of learning it. I think they just don't understand it properly, but they know it's a tool to get what they want, so they use it. But I think at some point that could possibly happen, where demons do learn compassion, love, and affection. And that's maybe something the story goes down to later on. It's just a theory that there might be a faction of demons that oppose the grand scheme of the demons, like the ones that Frieren really wants to kill, and there is a faction that may seek, try plead to Frieren, and that's where the struggle will be. And maybe there'll be a bit of an in-between where they'll be like, hey, we do love, we do have compassion, we don't want to hurt the humans, we just want to live in peace. And I wonder if that will be a concept they'll delve into, because it could be a really interesting hook. Well, because it would really pull on her heartstrings. That could be another way for her to learn what love is, because they've learned it.
And that's exactly what I was going to touch on, Cookie Joe, which is even in humans, bro, we have literal sociopaths or psychopaths who show little to no empathy, little to no emotions, who are experts at guiding and using their emotions as manipulative tools. And then we also have individuals who have just been traumatized to the point where they don't like to show emotions, because if they show too much emotions or get invested or whatever, like, it'll hurt them. So how do you distinguish one from the other? That's a hard issue, right? And that's a hard point to go ahead and take in there.
I think that might be the case with some demons as well. Some demons might be too scared to show emotions because of how it's used as a manipulation tactic. I mean, it's just an idea of like, what if the demons were a part of helping her learn what love and compassion and all that kind of stuff is. I think Frieren needs to learn compassion, but love is the one thing she needs to learn.
Right. If you guys have the memes, drop them on the Discord, because I'm really curious. I didn't get to see all of these memes. So
there's some good ones. There's like one telling her to socially like destroy herself, and she like takes a picture of herself with a selfie, and I think she kind of like shows some cleavage.
But they can feel fear, evidenced by Lugner and Aura. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. They can feel emotions because they've felt fear. So it's at least one of the emotions. I just don't think they know what love and compassion and kinship is. I think that's still very new to them and they don't completely understand it, but they know how to manipulate it. And that's, I think, where it is right now.
But even culturally, like let's take apart the fact that they're demons. If we were to go ahead and just introduce them like to the real world, people would instantly be like, "Oh, it's their culture. It's how they got brought up," and that might be the main issue as to why they don't know how to interact or properly display emotions. We can take this into like an actual real life thing and be like, "Wait a minute, it might just be a cultural issue where growing up in an environment like this, if you showed emotions, you were probably killed. You're probably taken out. So you grow up only knowing like the negative emotions or only knowing how to manipulate." Right.
And yeah, as far as like the true demons being psychopaths, I think some of them probably are. I think some of those demons, some that Frieren and the team will meet, will be complete psychopaths. I think that elf that's in the trailer, or the opening song, I think she's going to be a complete psychopath. That's going to be like really manipulative and powerful. And because of how long she's been alive for, that's what I think the big bad villain is for the story. I'm just very curious at where it goes because I do think the monk is going to be a part of the team permanently, or at least in some long-term capacity. But I still feel like there's at least room for one more person. I wonder if maybe they'll acquire another teammate when they go to the magic place for her certificate. But I'm like, do they really need another mage though?
Right.
But I mean, a monk is kind of, it's like a hybrid between a healer and a melee user. So maybe they could use a third magic user. It's not necessarily a bad idea. Did think of an archer. Could very well be possible.
Or someone with the sword, considering that we have someone with an axe. That's sort of my mentality.
I was wondering a tank would be really good, like someone with a sword and a shield.
I'm certain the monk gives hands. Oh yeah, the monk can probably throw down. That would be interesting. But overall, I really enjoyed both episodes today. I really feel like Frieren and Eminence are standing on a league of their own this season, along with 100 Girlfriends. I fucking love that show. That's just hitting it week by week. But I guess for you, what would you rate the episodes?
Honestly, I definitely put this episode at like a 8 or a 9 out of 10.
Sure.
It's really good. It was a much more slower episode. It's like the aftermath, and it's kind of like the build up to the next arc, because clearly they've got their next objectives that they need to achieve, which is her getting her certificate, and clearly they're going to make their way through the journey as well. And I still, again, I love that monk. That monk was just so funny.
The monk.
So I want him permanent.
Well, it says, "Well, SB, your shit is sailing. How do you feel?" Your ship, I believe.
Oh, the couple. Yes. I'm very pleased with that ship. I expected as much. It kind of made sense from the very beginning, just some of the chemistry. Because I think he has a little bit of a crush on her, but she's very cold. But I think she does like him a little bit, but she's just kind of playing that like tsundere kind of attitude.
Right.
But I think in this episode, you kind of see that she does rely on him a little bit when she's on the house, when the snow. So she kind of looks to him as like a helping hand. So I think she has trust and respect in him, but I think she just likes to check like pop shots at him. But I think that ship is sailing.
But my thing is, what if that's her love language, like roasting? That's where my mind goes into, right? Because she's been with Frieren this whole time. She grew up with Hater, right? So she grew up with the priest, and then she was fitted in. And it's like, what if that's just the way that she grew up to communicate what she thinks is normal, and is slowly lowering her guard a little bit more and more? I'll be honest.
I think that's very possible.
I have a feeling that like this relationship is gonna fucking blossom. Either that, or it's gonna turn into a confusing mess. The same way that like Frieden and Himmel's turned into a mess unintentionally. So yeah, wonder if he can satisfy her though. She did say it was tiny. It was probably cold, brother. It's winter time. He's a grower, not a shower. Defend his ass.
I think you can't underestimate a grower.
Yeah.
When the testosterone gets ready, it will grow to the peak that she needs. I was thinking something really dumb there.
But he literally penetrated a dragon. He can do her cookie jar. But through that, anything else, SP? Anything else you want to touch on today?
If it was, I forgot, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it was a good week.
It was a really good week.